Pence calls for a national abortion ban. They're not going to they don't believe in states' rights. They never have. That's just bullshit. When they know they can't win nationally, they call for states' rights. When they think they could win nationally, states' rights go out the window. No one believes in states' rights. States don't have rights. People do. States are administrative entities. It's like saying bureaucratic rights. What the fuck are you talking about? To the cold, hard reality that is 35 years of utter Democratic Congress and Democratic Party. We have a Democratic Senate, a Democratic House, a Democratic President. We've had a Democratic House, a Democratic Senate, and a Democratic President with a filibuster-proof majority back in 2009, and they have done nothing. And the right wing has done what they promised their voters they were going to do. Appoint pro-life Supreme Court justices to overturn Roe v. Wade. That's the difference. You vote Republican, they deliver for you. You vote Democrat, eat shit and die. That's not a tenable political situation, folks. Something's got to give.
Away. You know, we're used to the Supreme Court granting rights, same-sex marriage, you know, sort of in reinterpreting things. This is a specific right being taken away from slightly more than half the population. So I just think it's going... We don't fully know the consequences yet. That's why we love the phrase unintended consequences. And I think there's going to be a lot of them, short-term, medium-term, and long-term. But the trust in the court and the erosion of that and making it be viewed as an extraordinarily partisan institution. You know, we already have that in the House and the Senate. And I think now, particularly what happened this week, particularly how Donald Trump appointed the Supreme Court, how he went about it, particularly and the whole Scalia thing with McConnell and all that, there really is a lot of people who believe this is a rigged court. This court's makeup isn't, quote, fair and square. It isn't really representative of where the country is and even was. And I think that is only going to add to cynicism. It's only going to add to that. And it is really, look, John Roberts has been concerned about this.
It's not cynicism. First of all, he's wrong. The Supreme Court's been taking away rights since its fucking founding. What do you think Dred Scott was? Dred Scott was a case where a slave was taken into a free state, and the state declared that man free, and Dred Scott declared that black people can't be citizens in any state, and that the black man has no rights, that the white man need respect. That wasn't about the South. That was about the North. That was about states had given rights to black people, being told you're not able to. The Constitution is a fundamentally racist document which says you can't have rights for black people. That's the fucking Constitution. What are you talking about, you liberal fucking brain? Holy shit.
Williams. Pete, we're kind of left with a checkerboard now of states and how they regard abortion rights. And then there's the issue of even within some of those that plan to ban it, rape and incest. Where does that leave us
For that
right
reason,
now?
in future cases, we should reconsider all this court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. I have called this. Did I not call that? How many people said they were going to get rid of what is these decisions? If you don't know what these decisions are, you're just tuning in. Griswold is the right to buy contraceptives like condoms and birth control. Lawrence is the right to be in a consensual gay relationship, period. Lawrence is the right to be queer. Obergefell is gay marriage. They're saying states should be able to make it illegal to be queer with criminal penalties. They're saying it's okay if a state bans you buying a condom with criminal penalties. And Obergefell getting overturned means we're going to rip apart millions of families. That's what they're saying. It's been officially overturned. It's been officially overturned. It's over. It's over. Justice Alito delivered the opinion of the court June 24th, 2022. It's over. And they're gutting what is known as the substantive due process right. And I think what makes me the most mad, I'm not going to lie, what makes me the most mad is not the right wing. At this point, they are my enemy, and I'm cold toward my enemy. I want to defeat my enemy. But there is one thing that I hate more than an enemy, and that's a traitor. And that's what the Democratic Party is. The most pathetic, mewling, cowardly traitor. And before you can defeat your enemy, you have to defeat the traitors and quislings among you. That's step numero uno. If you're trying to land on a beach and one of the guys on the ship is knocking a hole in the boat, that's the guy you gotta get rid of first. What is stopping states from ignoring SCOTUS decisions? Well, the moment that you do that, that's called the doctrine of of nullification. That still means it's banned in Texas. That still means it's banned in Florida. That still means it's banned in Ohio. So the largest states that are country, women just can't get abortions now? I don't think that's a fucking solution, man. The Democratic Party is a total failure. It is happening while they have complete control of the legislative and executive branch. Pathetic. If you failed basic civics and are replying to this, the Congress can pass a simple statute codifying Roe v. Wade that would make this decision irrelevant. If you hear the phrase filibuster, that's just bullshit. The filibuster can be overturned with 51 votes, including the vice president, at any time. If you tie your hand behind your back and then say, I can't fight, my hands are tied behind my back, that's your fault, not the person punching you. I went into a boxing match, but my hands are tied behind my back. It's not fair. The ruling wasn't abortion is banned now. The ruling was states can now ban abortions. Ignoring the court doesn't mean anything in this case. The court's past decision to affirm our rights. The court is basically removing that affirmation so states could never do whatever they want. That's correct. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say. And people replying to, people in the replies saying stuff like there's no way to pass a vote without 60 votes in the Senate, basic civics. Filibuster is something that the bare majority could overturn at whim. Dems tie their hands behind their own back and complain they can't fight back. That's the reality, man.
18 months of rights gone.
The white liberals who have been posing as our friends have failed us. The white liberal is the worst enemy to America and the worst enemy to the black man. 100%. Malcolm X. My God, I can't type. My computer is dying.
7 months just today. KEK wait smoke time.
Okay, the Supreme Court not overturn a codified federal Roe v. Wade. They would have to invent some sort of new right for a fetus that doesn't currently exist. They could say, I guess it's plausible that they create a new right for fetuses, like if they declared fetuses human persons. And that it was unconstitutional to permit abortion. That could happen. I guess that's possible. I could imagine that. But that's not what this decision states. Pence calls for a national abortion ban. They're not going to they don't believe in states' rights. They never have. That's just bullshit. When they know they can't win nationally, they call for states' rights. When they think they could win nationally, states' rights go out the window. No one believes in states' rights. States don't have rights. People do. States are administrative entities. It's like saying bureaucratic rights. What the fuck are you talking about? I mean, Pennsylvania didn't even bother to design their own flag. This is the second state that was admitted to the union. This is our flag. Some guy made a seal and we're like, all right, just put it on a blue field. Who cares?
Rights, brother.
Like, give me a break. Just put our seal on a blue field. That's fine. Like, it's not a political entity. It doesn't have its own identity. It doesn't matter. Just thank God the devs just spent weeks making Pence out to be a goddamn hero. I mean, the libs are just the worst. They're just fucking scum. Are on the ballot this November? In what way are they on the ballot? Are you gonna overturn the filibuster? Then they're not. Unless you say you're overturning the filibuster, they're not on the ballot. You're a liar. As Joe Biden called to overturn the filibuster, and I've been calling this for months. What did I say yesterday? In October of 2020, I called it. And I don't like to be right. I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. Like, that's who wants to be right about this kind of shit? I don't know what to say. Here it is. October of 2022. October 11th, 2020. This while the Republicans are ramming through a Supreme Court nominee who wants to make consensual sex between same-sex adults in their own home illegal, overturn gay marriage, and outlaw all abortions, and overrule Miranda rights. Literally called it. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to fucking say, man. I guess I have to screenshot. You can't like double quote tweet, can you? I have to screenshot my own tweet. Is that how it works, chat? I suck at Twitter. Yesterday, they ruled that you can't sue a cop for overturning, for violating your Miranda rights. Miranda itself is going to fall eventually, directly, but...
What a sad day, Mike. Thank you for all you do.
I can't spell. Get ready for this kind of stories in the U.S. U.S. woman fearing for health after Malta refuses abortion. Malta is the only country in the European Union which does not allow abortion under any circumstances. Andrea Prudent and her partner Jay Wheeldryer from Seattle were on holiday on the small Mediterranean island when 16 weeks pregnant started bleeding. Couple requested for the pregnancy be terminated due to the risk of maternal infection and possible death. The doctors will not terminate the pregnancy. They refused to certify her as fit for travel. Wow. What's the best country to move to that would actually accept two Americans? That's a great question. I think Portugal is a country that would. Pelosi is live if you want to watch, sure.
What this means to women is such an insult. It's a slap in the face to women about using their own judgment to make their own decisions about their reproductive freedom. And again, it goes well. I always have said the termination of a pregnancy is just their opening act. It's just their front game. But behind it, and for years, I have seen in this Congress opposition to any family planning, domestic or global, when we have had those discussions and those debates and those votes on the floor of the House. This is deadly serious, but we are not going to let this pass. A woman's right to choose, reproductive freedom, is on the ballot in November. We cannot allow them to take charge so that they can institute their goal, which is to criminalize reproductive freedom, to criminalize it. Right now, they're saying in states that they can arrest doctors and all the rest. What is happening here? What is happening here? Woman's fundamental health decisions are her own to make in consultation with her doctor, her faith, her family, not some right-wing politicians that Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell packed the court with. While Republicans seek to punish and control women, Democrats will keep fighting ferociously to enshrine Roe v. Wade.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Of the land. This cruel ruling is outrageous.
Pull out the people that won't support overturning a filibuster.
Make no mistake. Again.
Where's the call to primary them?
It's all on the ballot.
You're not voting. What is voting? What, we're going to elect 15 new Democratic senators?
Talking about the midterms.
What is this delusional bullshit?
On the ballot come November.
You have the power now, you fucking useless clown.
With an issue.
Vote harder! Vote harder! Vote harder in the rigged elections, which we won't protect! Vote harder! January 6th, the Republicans are having a conspiracy to steal elections! Vote harder! Vote harder! Vote harder! When Wyoming has as many senators as California! Vote harder!
For American women is an insult, a slap in the face.
What the fuck are you talking about?
When it comes to their reproductive health. She talked about a contradiction, she said, in what we saw from the Supreme Court yesterday, saying that, in essence, and you'll remember we covered this yesterday, that New York State could not make decisions that affect the Second Amendment, a right to bear arms, that the states can't make that decision, but then today saying the states should be the ones making the decision when it comes to a woman's choice about her reproductive future. We'll get into that In a moment, I'll be asking Terry Moran and Kate Shaw if there is, in fact, a legal contradiction there. The House Speaker saying the hypocrisy is raging. But I want to get immediate reaction to what the House Speaker said about American women having less freedom today than their own mothers did. I want to bring in Dr. Janet Cathy, an OBGYN. She's the only doctor at Planned Parenthood in Little Rock. There's only one abortion clinic in the state of Arkansas, the Little Rock Family Planning. And Dr. Cathy, I know that doctors come in from other states, actually, to work at this clinic.
Yes, there are other state providers at the clinic that does surgical care. Here at Planned Parenthood, I mean, we've had a full schedule of patients today and tomorrow that we're contacting now to tell them that we're going to have to make other arrangements. And the closest, they're going to look at driving 6 to 7 to 8 hours one way to be able to have this care provided for them.
This is a doctor in Arkansas.
You're among the
who is
first
now
to
a felon.
crystallize what this means for women
She does
immediately
abortion care
in this moment. And again, I say this no matter where you stand on the issue.
This
Dr.
doctor
Cathy,
is
just
now a felon.
underscore what you just said. Explain that for our viewers.
She should
who are
leave
watching
Arkansas,
right now.
honestly,
I know that you
immediately.
work at Planned Parenthood in Little Rock, Arkansas.
I wouldn't be
Little Rock
surprised
Family
if there's a
Planning.
fucking SWAT
And
team coming
just
for her
said
right
moments
now.
ago that you had now begun to call women to tell them that they're going to have to make alternate plans, and for many of them that means 6, 7, 8 hour drives ahead to get to other states.
Yeah, just and that, you know, one way, and that, you know, just the expense involved and just the logistics involved. And, you know, I'm thinking of it on a very personal level, just what it's going to take for any one person to manage the logistics of this. It's just going to be a very complicated process that it shouldn't be.
Dr. Janet Cathy, an OBGYN at a Planned Parenthood location in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's in fact the only abortion clinic in that state, describing how they're already calling women to say you're going to have to find other plans. She said dealing on this at a very personal level with women this morning. It just illustrates just how quickly this has impact on real lives in our country. I want to bring in Alexis McGill Johnson. We mentioned what Alexis said. She's the president of Planned Parenthood, the Action Fund. Moments ago, we read her statement on the air. And Alexis, I wanted to get your reaction to what the House Speaker just said about women in this country have less freedom than their mothers, that this is a slap in the face, an insult to women about making their own decisions for their reproductive futures.
Absolutely. I mean, look, I have 2 daughters who are 13 and 10, and the idea that they will grow up with less rights than I have at the age of 49, my entire life I have had a belief that that I am in freedom and equality, and the fact that we have gone back after 50 years is absolutely devastating. It is devastating, and we are furious.
Alexis, this decision was leaked several weeks back. Samuel Alito obviously authoring the decision for the majority on the Supreme Court. There was some belief that perhaps the language would be tweaked somewhat. It appears that simply is not the case, that the majority on the court held firm on this. Did you believe that this was coming, given the political dynamic in this country, that the court is now 6-3, given the recent appointments to the court? Or did you think that a 50-year president would simply hold despite the political dynamics right now?
We have been believing that this would happen particularly for the last few years. And certainly anyone listening to the oral arguments in December believed that this was a very distinct possibility. But there's a difference between belief and hope. And we spent the last, few weeks after this leak still trying to hold on to hope beyond measure.
What are you holding on to hope for?
That the court would see would change someone's
You should be
mind.
readying yourself to go to war. Holding on to hope.
It is going to
what?
create a healthcare
We knew
crisis
about this
in
for
country,
months.
For people who need access.
This is
to
our leader?
abortion care. And so
Throw her out.
I believe
See,
it would
remove her
happen.
from
I believe that
office.
the court showed its hand.
Get her out.
And yet I still try
Hold
to have
on to
faith and
hope.
that
Disgusting statement.
Alexis McGill Johnson, President Planned
Loser.
Parenthood Action Fund. Alexis, who said she's 49 years old, and today she has recognizes that her own daughters
Is abortion banned nationally? No, it's banned. It goes back to states.
She was their age.
But there's a move to create a federal law against abortions among Republicans. Mike Pence just called for a federal abortion ban.
Will have to take action on their own moving
most
forward.
of the many large states in America are gerrymandered and controlled by Republicans.
The Supreme Court overturning Roe versus Wade, a 50-year precedent in this country.
There's a lot of purple states as well where that is going to happen.
State level for legislation involving abortion rights. And as you know, if you've been watching here this morning, and forgive me for repeating that number, if you're just joining us,
there's too many people to keep safe.
Plan to take action immediately or very soon, 13 of which have these so-called trigger laws in effect that would trigger a change immediately when it comes to a woman's right to make this decision on her own. The former First Lady Michelle Obama issuing a statement moments ago, "I am heartbroken today. I am heartbroken for people around this country who just lost the fundamental right to make informed decisions about their own bodies."
Joe Manchin voted for these people. He's so shocked. They lied.
President Obama, the former first.
He's so shocked they lied. I'm deeply disappointed that the Supreme Court has voted to overturn Roe v. Wade. It has been the law of the land for nearly 50 years. It was understood to be settled precedent. By who?
Thanks, Mike.
I'm alarmed they chose to reject the stability of the ruling has provided for 2 generations of Americans. As a Catholic, I was raised pro-life and will always consider myself pro-life, but I've come to accept that my definition of pro-life not be someone else's definition of pro-life. I believe that exceptions should be made in instances of rape, incest, and when the life of the mother is in jeopardy. But let me be clear, I support legislation that would codify the... No, you didn't! You voted against it! You voted against it, you lying sack of shit! You can't say you support it and then vote against it! I think Joe Manchin is probably one of the most cynical people to ever live.
Slowly deletes insult before posting is a mood.
Yeah, I don't want to get timed out right now on Twitter. I've only, I'm a trans woman. I never give birth. I do not want kids. I am now terrified for my life as an American. I mean, they're coming for you. Not to scare you, but Nancy Pelosi's trying to make money off of it. Unless Joe Biden immediately calls to overturn the filibuster, I will not consider voting for him in 2024. He's dead to me. I will never vote for him. So I guess he's in trouble. Are you watching the stream unsubbed? You're making income inequality worse. You are doing anti-praxis. We are the only Twitch stream that will not accept scam advertisers, and I will never fuck you over by selling you crap.